they do that, allow me to just share with you a little bit about PCOM as an organization. I won't spend too much time on that, but at the same time, also share with you about the technology industry in Malaysia and how we can be partners in this globalization effort. So just give me a second while I try to bring my slides up and share this. Just a second. Share screen. Okay, I'm sharing my screen.
Yes.
You should be able to see my screen. So a little bit about PCOM. I just have a couple of slides to share about PCOM before I go into a little bit more details about the technology industry in Malaysia. First of all, PCOM, we position ourselves as the National Technology Association of Malaysia. So we are the apex organization that represents the tech sector here. And we count at least 1,000 active companies that involve in the entire spectrum of ICT products and services that command approximately about 80% of the tech business here. So we cover all the large from the hardware, software, services, communications companies here in Malaysia. How we work as an association, I think similar to many associations around the world, we are the voice of the technology industry. So we embrace the entire tech ecosystem, and I think advocacy becomes an increasingly important work that we do as an association, especially here in Malaysia, but also working with partners such as WITSA on the global front. In Malaysia, we are represented in key government ministries, agencies, and organizations that champion the tech industry here in Malaysia. On a regional and global front, we are part of APICTA, which is the Asia Pacific ICT Alliance. Associate is the Asian Oceanian Computing Industry Organization, and WITSA, which is our partner together with Assespro for the program today, the World Innovation Technology and Services Alliance. By coincidence, Dr. Sean Seah, who spoke earlier today before Robert, is the chairman of WITSA, who is also with PCOM here in Malaysia. Just a quick 1-2 slides, what we do as an organization. With close to 1,000 member companies in our membership, we have also set up various chapters to provide a little bit better service for our members. We have a chapter focusing on the GBS industry or the global business services. You may call it outsourcing, shared services, captive, nearshoring, or global delivery centers. We have a chapter of about 80 members in that chapter. We have a cybersecurity chapter that represent both the multinational vendors that are operating here in Malaysia together with their managed security service providers, the system integrators that work closely with the principals here in Malaysia. Our e-commerce chapter is primarily focusing on the e-commerce enabling sector, which include the payment, the logistics sector, the platform providers, and some e-commerce merchants will be part of our e-commerce chapter. We also have a venture investment chapter, which is a chapter that focuses on the high growth and startup companies here in Malaysia, trying to match them and tie them with the established companies, the VCs, the PEs in the country. Our CIO chapter, and that's something maybe a bit more unique from other vendor-based organizations. We also have a CIO end user chapter here in PCOM that represents some of the largest, 200 of the largest IT users in the country, including the large banks, for example, manufacturers, the conglomerates, the oil and gas companies. We also recently had set up a Women in Tech chapter, which in fact today, this month, we celebrated the International Women's Day. And one of the things that we did today was to have an afternoon tea with some key leaders in the technology industry here in Malaysia. And lastly, the latest chapter that was launched this last year was the Space Tech chapter. I think today we are looking at space tech, the space race, and I think Malaysian companies are increasingly involved in the space technology sector through efforts such as the system integration, software development, of space technology. As an organization, we organize, like any other association, various programs, awards, dinners, summits such as the conferences and business matching. We have a research publication, and some of the data I'll share with you a bit later. We have an academy that does training, as well as networking events such as our members meeting, a magazine that promotes the use of technology in the country. Our chapters also organize their own programs, and this keeps we have a fairly busy calendar throughout the year. I'll share with you the slides. You may notice some that you may not be familiar with some of these terms. It may be specific to our region here in Malaysia, such as festivities that we celebrate here in this country. This is just a snapshot of some of our members. We have about 1,000 of them, but some may be familiar names. But I think the message behind this, while we may have 1,000 members today, 90% of our members are local companies. And so if you like to partner with them, work with them, we have a number of local companies who we would like to promote and push forward. And we believe we provide products across the entire spectrum of technology. One of the key things that Dr. Sean and Robert mentioned earlier on is the World Congress on Innovation and Technology in 2023. We were the proud hosts of WCID 2022 in Penang, and this year it will be in Kuching, Sarawak. PICOM is the host association together with the state government of Sarawak and the lead agencies, the event agencies, ASDEC, the Sarawak Digital Economy Corporation, and its various other partners that will bring in. So it'll be 4th to 6th October, book your date. More details I'm sure will be sent to you by WITSA, and I'll be happy to share with you more if the need arises. So now let me go into my presentation proper, a little bit about Malaysia and some statistics that hopefully, when you're looking at partnering some Malaysian companies, you see, okay, where are we in terms of as an economy? So in the Malaysian GDP growth rate, I think I've been hovering about 5 to 6%. And that's fairly healthy for a high middle income economy. We are not yet a high income economy that requires a 15,000 GDP per capita income, and we are close. I think we are going to hit that. We are about 12,000 now, and in the next 3 years, we should be able to hit the 15,000 mark. We look forward to that, and we are also coming out of the COVID pandemic. I think pretty much we have gone back to normalcy in most cases. There was a dip in 2020 where there was a minus 5.5 contraction of the economy. But other than that, we see growth of about 5 to 6% each year. And we're going to project growth like that over the next couple of years as well. Okay, but there are challenges about, I think this year, you will also hear of, I think, meltdown, for example, the Silicon Valley Bank and various other financial institutions may be facing some issues and the slowing economy as well. Some of the measures that have been put in place by the government, including increasing interest rates, I think into what we call the overnight policy rate or the benchmark interest rate in the country has gone up by almost 1% over the last year. So we have seen that interest rates have moderated somewhat. I think while there was a high late last year, but I think it has moderated with the intervention of the central bank. We also see the strength of the US dollar, and that continues to concern us in terms of our imports. But however, our exports are competitive because of the strength of the ringgit. Malaysian exports are competitive. Unemployment rate, while during the height of the pandemic, it was 4.8%, close to 5%. But I think measures taken, including re-employment, upskilling and reskilling, has taken effect. And today it has dropped to about 3.5%. It was a high of about 4 to 5%. And 3.5% is almost virtually zero unemployment because some people are in between jobs. So I think the bottom line behind that message is the Malaysian economy has rebounded. Last year, the official statistics was 8.7%, while some forecasts at the beginning of the year, including the central bank, was a little bit more moderate, between 5 to 6%. The OECD, Asian Development Bank, World Bank, we're all looking at those numbers. But I think we saw strong growth in the last 2 quarters that resulted in 8.7% growth. This year, of course, we would not be able to hit the same numbers. I think we are seeing a slowing global economy, maybe global tensions as well between Russia and Ukraine, as well as the uncertainty in the market. And we will probably expect between 5 to 6%. And that's also in line with expectations. And we expect the Malaysian economy to remain robust throughout the year. But specific to the digital economy, or the ICT industry, as we used to call it. So specific to the ICT industry, these are in US dollar terms. And these are, some of it are based on official statistics from our Department of Statistics here in Malaysia. While we have also made projections in the case where statistics may not have been available at the time of producing this report. This report was produced in the second half of 2022, so we needed to make some estimations on our numbers there. So if you're looking at the size of the industry, in terms of the Malaysian economy, the official numbers is about 80 billion US dollars, and that contributes about 22.6% of to the GDP, the digital economy to the GDP. In 2021, the official statistics is 23.3% contribution to the national economy. Picom's projection at that time was 23.7, which is not too far, and we continue to expect in 2022 to also hit 24.4, but I think it's about 23.3. We will definitely hit, our target is 25.5% by the year 2025. Okay, but how is the growth? So as a general rule of thumb, if the economy grows by about 4 to 5%, we can expect the digital economy to grow by 8 to 10%. So it probably grows about twice that of the general economy or the national economy. In terms of employment, the numbers have, of course, gone up to about 1.2 million. The tech industry in Malaysia, and this includes the various subsectors of the tech industry, manufacturing, services, trading, as well as content and media, employs about 1.2 million people. That's quite sizable because Malaysian population, working population, is slightly above, I think, 15 million. So about 8% of the working population is employed by the technology industry. Manufacturing forms the bulk of it. Reason being because one of the key reasons is Malaysia has a huge manufacturing base, especially in semiconductors, in electrical and electronics, the E&E sector. So that employs close to more than a third of the 1.2 million in the E&E sector. Where we primarily come from, Picom and our members will be in ICT services. We also represent trading, as well as to an extent some of the manufacturing companies in Malaysia, and content and media. Let me cover a little bit about digital employment. I'm also wary of the time that's allocated. So digital employment in terms of salaries. So if you want to set up shop here in Malaysia, what can you expect? Well, certainly we welcome partnership and for you to make investments here. I think you can see that we continue to enjoy fairly attractive growth in terms of salaries. While it's no longer at a high of 10% growth each year in the early 2010s, but it has moderated somewhat to between 4 to 5%. And I think that's probably sustainable. But one thing that the research has shown us, we need to ensure that we continue to remunerate our employees to be able to ensure that they remain here in Malaysia and continue to contribute positively to the organization. So this, hopefully with these numbers that we produce every year, the data that we share with our members, we see more and more people, Malaysian companies, paying their salaries at the rate that the market does. So some key positions, for example, if you look at some top paying industries, well, these are average salaries, so it may not make 100% sense here. However, to look at some of the key salary industries that pay the highest salaries include the electrical and electronics industry. the computer software industry, consulting, telecommunications. Certainly oil and gas cuts across the entire spectrum of tech jobs, and they have been one of the highest paying employers in the country. We also have in the hardware sector, I think we see computer engineering as one of the key growth areas. Today, as an outsourcing center as well, we find IT-enabled BPO and outsourcing is also one of the key areas of growth in terms of salaries. Okay, but some of the salaries that we find attractive, for example, if you look at 1 to 3 years of experience and more than 7 years of experience, this is in US dollars. So for a CISO, for a cybersecurity professional, a CISO or a director of cybersecurity can expect between 50 to 60,000 US dollars salary each year. And while that may seem low by international standards or American standards, I think in this part of the world, it's fairly competitive. And if you look down the list in the areas such as security analysts, intelligence analysts, it's anything between 35,000 to 40,000 US dollars per year. And these are base salaries. It does not include benefits and other bonuses that may be paid out. In the other area that's of high interest is in the area of AI and data science. For someone who is a software engineer, who is someone who has experience in AI and ML, for example, can expect between about 40,000 if they have above 7 years of experience. A data scientist, similarly, an engineer, AI engineer, similarly about 40,000 US dollars. So that gives you a feel of what the salaries are like in Malaysia, as well as the general economy that we are currently going through. If you look at some of the positions, and I'll share with this slide because there are just a little bit too many numbers here in this slide. But if we benchmark Malaysia against other countries in this region and also around the world, with Malaysia being given a number of 1, for someone in Indonesia, for example, may expect a salary equivalent to 0.62 times. That's just a general benchmark. In Japan, they may expect a salary of 1.23, which means they get 23% higher salary. Similarly, in Korea, 1.96. So these are some numbers that we have crunched based on internationally available data to give a comparison of where Malaysia stands vis-a-vis the other countries around the world. So as part of that, we are happy to be part of this program today. I think in essence, the Malaysian economy has rebounded from the COVID pandemic. We see strong growth last year. We continue to see robust growth this year. While there are headwinds in the horizon, we continue to expect that Malaysian companies will do well, the Malaysian economy will do well, and we will see strong 2023. So with that, I'd like to thank you for your attention. I hope this is useful. Happy to take questions that you may have. Thank you very much, and I'll pass it back to Robert.
Thank you very much, Ong. Great information. I think that's the baseline that we need to start exploring, potential opportunities. But without any further delay, I'd like to invite now the first company from Malaysia to do a 5-minute pitch and save 5 minutes for Q&A. Who will be the first?
Okay. Hi. Good morning and good evening. My name is Chong. I'm representing InfoFlow. Let me show my screens. Okay. I'll make sure I stick to the 5 minutes, right? Okay. So basically, we are a banking solution provider, okay, working in the fintech, banking, and financial services industry, that we are looking for a strategic partner to expand the business globally, right? So a little bit background of our actually targeted market, where we all know that challenger banks are emerging across the globe, okay? So you all have seen some of these names like by the name of New Bank in Brazil, N26 in Germany, Revolut, and also Monzo in UK, and many others, right? So it comes together with a huge opportunity, because we also see that banks spend heavily on the IT spending yearly, okay? So that creates some unforeseen business opportunities for this industry. Why is it so? It's because it sees that new banks or new entrants actually invested heavily to actually procure and set up a new set of infrastructures as well as the applications and software. Okay. And at the same time, the existing banks or incumbents are actually also working hard to accelerate their investment in the digital transformation journey. So this gives us some opportunity to tap into the potential IT spending for all these either digital transformations or maybe a revolutionary technology investment. Okay, that's where we supply the technologies and solutions to capture the business gap. Okay, so where we develop and actually we build the next generations of core banking system with the name of Synergies. Okay, this is an AI-driven digital banking platforms. So we hope that we can actually bring this to the market together with our strategic partners. Okay, what we actually brings to our customers is a complete pre-integrated and yet still composable banking platforms. You can choose and mix and match the services that required by your banking services, okay, to deploy and go to market quickly. Okay, underlying we build with the cloud native and emerging technologies to help them benefit from the agiles and innovations. Okay. So InfoPro, we are the people behind who actually invented heavily into actually research and develop these new banking systems. And who is InfoPro? Just to give you a little bit of backgrounds. So we already in the business for more than 36 years up until today. We have 100+ customers across 32 countries. And we are proud to say that we maintain 100% successful implementation track records in all our projects. Okay. And we are the only IT companies comes with a CMMI level 5 high maturity appraised companies in Malaysia. Okay. And this is our global footprints. Okay, not only in Southeast Asia, but actually we presence in almost all the areas, all the different countries in APEC. And we have different offices in China, Singapore, and UAE, where Malaysia being our headquarters. Okay. We have been named as the best Islamic financial solution providers by the Islamic Finance News, as well as best core banking solution provider by FinTech Futures in UK. Okay, so we continue to strive hard in actually adopting best practices and creating innovative solutions for the market. Okay, so we are seeking for a strong and strategic partners to help to together penetrate new markets and drive the business growth. Okay, do contact us at marketing@infopro.com.my. And we are happy to actually get connected and discuss about the potential business together. Okay, so this marks my last slide, and I hand over the floor back to you, Robert.
Okay. Yeah, so very good. We did under the time, did 4 minutes. So now you got 6 questions.
Is there any questions?
Yeah, well, I have one for you. So
Yeah,
you specialize in the financial services segment, right?
Yes, true.
Do you have any development foreseen for an application for money transfers over applications, cross-border, any country?
Money transfers with the likes of cross-border remittances. Basically, we are working more towards like delivery, the integrations of the fast and secure transactions. Okay, whether some country call it fast or fastest or different sort of real-time transactions, gross settlement. Okay, so we have our payment hub that can actually connect the banks to whether the remittance company from the this blockchain based or the fintech based by the name of maybe iRemit or Stripes or TransferWise, or we can also connect to the traditional payment platforms such as Swift alliances, okay, for the MT and MX messages. So we have a complete payment hub that actually can help bank to connect to all these different payment channels.
Very good. And in which countries this particular solution has been installed already?
Basically, what I showed you just now, I have customers across 30 over countries. Okay, our primary install site is still in Africa and also emerging markets in Southeast Asia. Okay, so we work with customers in Malaysia, Singapore, Cambodia, and many others.
I see. And is there at InfoPro a development roadmap to go into different geographies this year?
Definitely, that's the reason why we are here. Okay, we lack some presence in developed countries such as probably the US or Southern US or even the Europe continents. Okay, so that's where we actually are exploring also partners who are actually having presence in different countries, including like Portugal or Brazil. So those are the areas where we foresee that there are a lot of new entrants entering the market, offering financial services. We see some new products emerge from the market, such as Pay Later or many others. So those are our bread and mortar, and we are actually tapping into this digital opportunity at this moment to bring the value to our customers, to provide a better UX or customer experience and helping them to grow their digital footprints at the same time.
Mr. Chong, thank you very much. Let me open to the rest of the floor if anyone has any questions for Mr. Chong from InfoPro.
Thank you.
Well, Mr. Chong, thank you very much. Good presentation. We'll definitely be in touch in the future. Next company from PCOM.
Okay, thank you.
And so maybe I'll just introduce the next person. We have from Coms Technology. Coms Technology, I think they will have some sharing. So Li Jing, can I invite you to take over?
Hi.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. Hi, Robert. Hi, thanks, Ong. Okay, let me just do a quick share. Can you see my screens?
Yes.
All right. Okay. Very good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever everybody is. My name is Li Jing. I'm the CEO and founder of Coms Technologies. Basically, we are in the space of providing physical identity and access management solutions. We are in the business since 2002, so we've been doing it for quite a while. I would say that basically we are a solution, we are a software house. We provide stackable solutions to enable multi-application on a single ID. And that ID can be your physical card, that's where we started from, or nowadays using our biometrics, fingerprint, and of recent facial, using facial recognition, as well as perhaps your mobile phone, using Bluetooth, using dynamic QR code, and so on. So knowing who you are, we then able to integrate to your various, I would say, physical security hardwares or infrastructure, such as your access control systems. And we support, I think, currently 25 different brands of access control systems, as well as a CCTV or surveillance solution, where we basically integrate some form of operation or application tying into your physical security, basically improving on your safety as well as your customer experience within your property. So some of the solutions that we have essentially starts off from our core product. We call it Card Application Lifecycle Management System. Essentially, it is to manage your credentials, and of course, then enable different applications that can tie in who you are. Other application includes our visitor management systems, quite a complete one, and this has been our, I would say, top selling since pandemic, because companies are now imposing certain processes in terms of making sure the people that coming in and out of the premises comply with certain standard operating procedures. We have time attendance, human and asset RFID, facility bookings, and I think facility booking that include things like hot desking, especially now a lot of companies are moving into what we call work from home, and hence they no longer provide permanent desks for the staff. We also have e-purse, which is electronic wallet, so that company can basically manage their own closed loop wallet within the organization, and thus enable various applications to be offered based on whether or not they have payment and so on. And of recent, we have also moved into an IoT space where we are now providing software plus the hardware to basically enable things like energy savings and machine monitoring. I think our customer base, any organization with large user base, so that it include basically large users such as your staff, your students, your members for clubs, yeah, and of course manufacturing company for the employees and so on. We are seeing that now people are no longer taking it as a nice to have, but is now part and parcel of normal operation, where people are now using digital solution to basically improving productivity, ensuring safety, especially post-pandemic. People are now very concerned and might want to make sure that everybody comply to certain processes. And of course, making sure that they have the necessary audit when it comes to certain credential and so on. We are regional based. Obviously, if you see our map, we have a whole segment that is still empty, and that's why I think today we are here, essentially looking at potential partners. Apart from Malaysia, where we go direct, all the other countries we work with partners who are basically people like in the physical access security or CCTV solutions, the card issuance, general SIs, who would be able to take our solutions and implement within the local market. All right. Why comes, I think our solution nowadays, when you look at smart identity, people are now looking at more and more, rather than, we call it situation awareness, where it is after effect getting reports and so on. We are now seeing more and more companies looking at it as a immediate automation and optimizations. Things like your standard time attendance, it's even no longer just a basic in and out, but also to look at the actual number of hours working within an organization. And that can be achieved by integrating to your CCTV. With the AI engine, we are now able to see whether or not a particular staff is working at a production floor or not. And if they're away from production floor, they can actually minus out the overtime because they were not actually working. Yeah, and things like that. Slides just to show you quickly in terms of where the solution can fit in, from visa management, looking at the entrances to your lobby, even managing the drivers coming into your picking up or delivering items, our asset management at the inventory area, time attendance for production floor, our cashier solution for cafeteria, facility booking for the meeting room, hot desking, and so on. Just give you some sample, right? Just the people behind the scene. That's me, the founder, and I've got my CTO, Siva Kumar, Joseph Yong, my sales director, and we do have a board representative from a government agency who are one of our investors, right? And a little bit more contact details of the company, and obviously some awards that we have won recently. And what we are looking for are basically partners who can bring in our solution. And normally we find that people who are in physical access security, either card printing or general SI companies would find our solution useful. Thank you very much.
Well done, Mrs. Ling Chingo.
Li Ching, yeah.
Yes, Li Ching. So I have a question for you. Considering that you are in the cybersecurity space, I would like to learn from you, what are the things that you have learned in trying to actually implement a cybersecurity solution in different geographies when trust is one of the key components?
Well, actually, we are not in cybersecurity per se. We're in physical security. That is meaning it's your door access. So it's actually where our solution comes in is the person knowing who you are physically. Yeah, and managing that person, that credential, knowing that you have, because if Li Ching has booked a room, I can now be given the credential to basically enter the room. Once my room booking has expired, yeah, I can no longer enter the room. So not so much of cybersecurity, but more of physical security.
Yeah, I actually, considering that we use digital tools, I consider everything pretty much cyber. I know you're in identity access management, IAM. and, access control. So my question was, what have you found in trying to sell your access control solution in different geographies?
Okay, the way that we have gone to market, obviously, different countries will have their what we call the preferred access control systems in that country. And normally we would integrate with this kind of solutions. And they are our, I would say, first easy to reach partners, because we don't really do a physical security solution, but we integrate with them so we can complement their solution. We make their solution more efficient because it can now add in various operations to tie in with their physical access.
Yeah, so that was the answer I was looking for, Li-Ching, because now we know what type of partner you're looking for. You're looking for partners that are in the physical space, actually access control in the physical space. Very good. So the one thing that's happening spontaneously, and I'm going to ask that we do this furthermore, on the chat box, people are exchanging already their LinkedIns and their information because they're seeing something that has merit, that has relevance. So please do feel free to make these connections over chat and exchange your LinkedIns and your whatever information so you can connect afterwards. Very good. Thank you very much, Li-Ching. So we're on the third company.
Thank you very much, Li-Ching. Now on to the third company is Yun-Yu. Ms. Moss Lau is the representative of Yun-Yu, and she'll be doing the sharing today. So over to you, Moss.
Hi.
Hi,
Let me share my screen. One moment. Okay, can you see my slide?
Yes, partially. I think you need to perhaps you want to do a full presentation mode.
Okay, one moment, yeah.
There you go. You're good to go, Yun-Yu.
No? Okay.
Good to go.
Okay. 1 second, yeah. Okay. Okay, about Yun-Yu. Yun-Yu is a ERP and cloud service provider. Yun-Yu founded since 1988 in year 2003. And Yun-Yu startup international business and overseas business unit, HQ established in Hong Kong. Yun-Yu Malaysia set up in 2011 and specialized in local market. Today, Yun-Yu have more than 230 branches around the world, 5 listed companies, and 9 product R&D and innovation centers, and more than 25,000 employees. On the 1.0, Yun-Yu serving 400,000 customers with we are the #1 financial software provider in China. The source are from CCID. And on the 2.0, Yun-Yu serving 2 million plus customer enterprise information. We are the #1 in Asia Pacific, which is top 10 in the world of ERP software provider, the source from Gartner. And now go to the 3.0. Yun-Yu goal is to serve tens of millions of customers with digital intelligence and aim to become the world's leading enterprise cloud service provider. And currently, Yun-Yu ERP SaaS ranks #1 in Asia Pacific and #8 in the world. So this is where Yun-Yu overseas business located. We do have in Hong Kong, as I mentioned, is our overseas HQ, and Taiwan, Macau, Singapore, Thailand, and of course, Malaysia. So what exactly is business innovation? Okay, in the digital era, growing enterprises embrace digital information. Digital solutions are a core element of digital business, empowering enterprises' assets, equipment, organizations, and personnel. Business operations have crossed traditional boundaries, including the geographical boundaries of customers, organizational boundaries, boundaries of internal and external personnel, spatial boundaries of collaboration, national boundaries of resources, and industry boundaries of the environment. Eventually, all enterprises will become digital. Recently, we have launched a solution for small and medium enterprise, which the price is more affordable for SME to adopt. That's our Young Suite cloud native architecture. So now let's have a quick view with the 1-minute short video introduction of Young Suite. Okay. So Young Suite is a cloud service package based on cloud native architecture that provides growing enterprises with marketing, manufacturing, purchasing, project, social and collaboration, human resource, financial management, office and platform integration to support global operations and social businesses. Young Suite enable the digital and intelligent development of enterprises and achieve customer-centric, data-driven, real-time operations and easy management of digital intelligent enterprises. So this is Young Suite is based on cloud. So this is a new solution for SME. So yep. So this is my introduction about Yongyo and also our Young Suite product. Thank you.
Very good, Maslao. I will start off with one question for you.
Yep.
Congratulations on a very expandable footprint in Southeast Asia. I'd like to learn what were the challenges in going to different geographies in your region that you faced to establish a local presence?
Yeah, we do have a strong competitor like Oracle because they are worldwide well known. So and for ours to stand in Malaysia, we need to do more marketing event, so to let more people to know about our product.
So do you work with partners in those different countries, or those are actually Yongyo teams?
Yongyo teams, but we do partner with Huawei Cloud, or yeah, our main partners is Huawei Cloud. We do partner with them like in Asia Pacific.
So what would be the ideal partner profile for Yongyo going into a Western culture?
We are not much in Western countries, so maybe this is the chance for today.
Yeah. Okay. So, but okay, let's go back to your region. What is the ideal partner for you? someone that is already in the financial services space, for instance?
You mean partners or our target clients? You mean partners, right? Yeah. So maybe those consultant who giving advice for those enterprises. Maybe they could be our main partners as well, because they do need like provide maybe one-stop solution for those enterprise.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
Very good. Thank you for your answer.
Robert, can I
yes.
ask a question?
Please, Alvaro.
Hi there.
Hi.
I would like to understand if you ever heard about Taurus. It's a Brazilian ERP company. And second of all, if you have ever talked with them about relationships in this region or not?
The relationship in Brazil, you mean?
Yes.
Yes,
I'm sorry, Alvaro.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I put the name of the company Alvaro just mentioned in the chat box. It's the largest ERP producer in Brazil. So the question is, have you been able to identify or reach out, or have identified TOTUS in your assessment of trying to find Western partners?